This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to goonlinetrainings.com. So, we are discussing about case studies. The first case study was school, the second was a supplier. Then we started off with iBank, Indian Bank case study. I think we had created a couple of tables there. Let me quickly go to SQL Server and this is my Object Explorer. I told you if you close this, no worries, go to view menu, click on Object Explorer or press F8. Clear? So you should be able to get this and expand the databases by double clicking on this, or you can click on the plus symbol as well. Then I have created Indian Bank and created couple of tables. If you wanted to see the relationships, then you can go to database diagram, right click on this and new database diagram. So click on yes, and you can just include these tables. Okay, when you click on add these tables, and you will come to know as of now this is an independent table and these two tables are linked. This is the primary key symbol, this is the foreign key. Region ID is the primary key and region ID is the branch, region ID is the foreign key here in the branch master table. Now as of now product master is independent table. Clear? So that's how we can identify which are the tables which are in relationship with. Now I wanted to create some more tables. So account master table we did not create because we stopped it because it is having a foreign key relationship. If you wanted to create a foreign key relationship, then you need to create the primary key tables first. So we ignored this table and we created the product master, then region master, then branch master. Let me now create user master as well. So let me go to my scripts, go to file, recent files. So case study Indian Bank. Now I'm using everywhere go. Have you seen Priyanko? So not only Priyanko, everybody, please make sure that you are sending me proper scripts. Okay. So I don't need, the scripts. If you don't follow any kind of discipline, then definitely I don't need the scripts. You need to follow the scripts clearly and use them, go everywhere, and cleaned scripts I need. Clear? So whoever is sending the scripts, make sure that you're following each and everything clearly and send it for review. Otherwise, not. Clear? Yeah, I don't want to see the scripts without proper, go statements and with our proper indentations. Clear? So make sure that you're having enough data as well. I did not include a lot of data, but make sure that you have enough data. You don't send me one row, two rows, and I don't consider that as a script at all. Clear? At least give me, so this 4 is fine here, and in this at least give me up to BR9. Okay, so don't send me with one or two insert statements. So the next one is user master table that I wanted to create. So let me take this complete statement. I will modify this. Control C, Control V, and you select everything. Control Shift L lowercase, and you go and make it to uppercase. User master. Remove everything from here. Now Control C, Control V, Control V, and delete all of them. So what are the columns I wanted to have it? So user master is the employees of the bank. So that information here, I wanted to have them there. Now let me simply copy and paste it. So use tab space, user ID integer, username. Let me make it to lowercase. And I told you you should not have spaces part of the column names and the table names, and varchar. So you can have int, and at the end you must put comma and give some more space. And here they clearly saying, so designation is not null. So not null, you need to bring it to, not null, you have to bring it here. And M for manager, T for teller, C for clerk. Okay, we need to have a check constraint, right? So because character is one, I have to write a check constraint. So how to write check constraint? Check and write the expression in this. That's it. Okay. So what is the column name? Designation is the column name. Let me make it to lowercase. And if you wanted to make lowercase like this, you can make it Control Shift L to make it to lowercase, Control Shift U to make it to uppercase. Select everything, Control Shift U, U for upper, Control Shift L, L for lower. So that's very, very important, guys. Okay. So now designation is this. Now I wanted to give designation could be either designation could be in. I am writing in operator, could be manager, comma, clerk, comma, teller, something like this. Okay. So the designation could be what? Either manager, teller, clerk, and one more also we have. Let me give it here. O for officer. Okay. So manager, teller, clerk, O for manager. I wanted to give one more for the officer. We can insert only one character. So either the employee of the bank could be a manager or the clerk or the teller and the officer. So these are the data values you can provide. So this is the table that we have created, right? So I want to insert some data. You can have some data here. So the ID could be one, and the manager, let us say Bhaskar Jogi, and is one of the employee in the bank. Designation may be a manager. Okay. Now you insert some data like this. At least couple of entries you need to do it. So Control C and Control V. So we have Priyanko is officer in this. Like that, we'll have some data, right? Now we have Hemant is manager, and we can give some data there. Okay. So whatever you wanted to give. Let us say John K is the clerk, right? And we have Aman Pandey, maybe a teller, something like this. We can give some data there. And we have Rahul B is again a clerk there. So like that, we can give some data over there. Okay. These are the bank employees. So Bhaskar, Priyanko, Hemant, John, Aman Pandey. So these are the data I had given MCT and like that. Clear? So keep saving the script. Now we have created this one as well. So after the user master, we have a transaction master need to be created. So transaction master is having a lot of foreign keys, and we did not create a table account master. Let me create this table first. Okay. Then last, let me go with the account master table. So let me take complete syntax till this, and I can simply modify this. So account master, control C, control V, and select everything, control shift L, lowercase, and account master table. Now these are the things I need to delete. This is the table name, and you know, delete these things. That's it. Now I wanted to write account master column names. These are the columns I wanted to have. So copy them and go inside and paste them. And make sure you select everything, press tab. So account ID integer, primary key, and name. Name means customer name I'm talking about. At the end, put comma, and address and comma, and branch ID. So it is a not null, and which is a foreign key. So you need to remove the comma here. So foreign key means what? It is a foreign key here. So primary key, there is a primary key table has to be there. So there is a branch master. So that we have created. So this is the primary key table, right? And copy, and this is the primary key. So you need to clearly say foreign key references, references table name, and the column name. What is the column? This is the primary key column, and this is the primary key table name. This is the foreign key. So you need to create like this. So when somebody says foreign key, you should not leave like this. Foreign key to what table? That you need to mention. So always remove all these things and keep them null, not null here. And foreign key again references what table? It is referring a product table. So PID, do we have any product table? Just go there. We have created a product table. So this is the product table, and copy this, and the product ID is the primary key. So it is going to link to that. Okay, guys. So product ID, and important is that product ID, very, very important. Put comma at the end. Date of opening. I don't want to write very big one, simply DOO, date of opening. So not null. So when you go to a bank, your account number will be there, your name will be captured, your address is captured, branch in which you're opening the account will get captured. When which product you have chosen. So what is the product means? You wanted to have savings bank account, loan account, applying for fixed deposits account, recurring deposit, or you may go in for foreign exchange FX account. Lot of types of products the bank is going to offer. You can choose one of the product. Clear? So that is the data this table is going to be having. This data is all about the customers. The table name is customers. The table name is account ledger, account master. So normally in some banking terminologies, this is what is called account ledger, transaction ledger, right? But in our database, we are saying, we are calling this as a account master table. Now clear balance. What is the clear balance? We'll see later. So let me remove C and say C balance. So what is the C balance? I will explain. And it is money null allowed. You should not write allowed, simply say null. Null means null allowed only. Put comma. Unclear balance, I'll say U balance. U balance is unclear balance, so it is null allowed. Simply you put like this. These are the null columns. And status of the account character is 1. And if you don't specify anything, there is not null. So somewhere they have specified, you bring it to here. Okay. And O for operative, I for inoperative, C for closed, default value is zero, zero O operative. So what is the meaning? So the status of the account could be opened account, closed account, inoperative. Inoperative means if you don't do any transaction in a bank account for more than 1 year, automatically it will become inoperative. Clear? So I wanted to write a check constraint for this. You need to say check and write the expression. So I'll say column name, column name, and in lot of things I want to write. So either we can have O, right? Or we can have I, inoperative, or we can have what? C for closed. Clear? So OIC, like that we can have it. Let me remove this. Now, if you wanted to give default value, you can say default is what? 0. If you don't give anything, it will be 0. Since it is a not null column, you need to give. So default is not at all mandatory as of now. Okay. So even though if it is a if it is null column, then default makes sense. Okay. It is a not null column. You need to enter the data compulsorily. So default, even though they're mentioning default is 0 here, so we cannot do anything about it. Clear? So this is the one I'm talking about. Clear? If it is a null column, then we can do something about it. If you don't write anything, default value could be a 0 there. So account ID, account name, customer address, customer branch ID, and lot of things we can have it there. So this is the table I wanted to create. Make sure that I'm in iBank database. Okay, so many people will not see, they'll create this in somewhere. So create it. Now this is the table. Now the values, say 101, you can give some starting number and you can have your names there. Clear? And let us say we have Ravina and she is the first customer. Address some, I'm writing some address here and branch ID. She's opening the account in branch BR1 and say product ID is savings bank account. Now, date of opening an account would be, let us say 2018, say 12th and 23rd. Okay. Now, C balance, let me say 1000 and unclear balance is 1000 and it is operational. So this is how you can just give the complete data. So you need to give the complete address. I'm not going to write the complete address. At least mention 1 or 2 lines here, right? So like that, you mention, you insert some more data. So then we have Ahmad Patel. Okay, Ahmad Patel. Let us say from Mumbai, India. So is opening in branch BR3 savings bank account and let us say 27th and with 2000 bucks, right? And it is operational. So let me insert this data. When I insert it, I'm getting an error. So it is saying foreign key constraint with the branch. Okay. So with the branch, I'm getting the foreign key constraint. Why? Because foreign key means you know already what is the issue. I'm inserting BR3, but in the foreign key table, branch master table, what are the values I have? I have only BR1 and BR2. I'm giving non-existing value as BR3 is not at all there. So I'm giving this wrong value, hence it is failing. So I need to provide only the existing value of the primary key column, not the other values. Okay. So now it is going to work. Otherwise, it is not. Let me insert some more data in this. Control C and Control V. Branch BR3, let us say Mumbai branch and let us say New Andheri East Navi Mumbai, some address, okay? Let us say double four three some pin, and which is part of which region, because region number I need to mention. So region is let us say northern region. So let me give two, right? So like that, you need to enter some values, and here you can use the branch BR3. You need to insert at least 10-20 rows, or if you have time, you need to insert some more data in this. So I'm not going to insert a lot of data, so I don't want to waste time here. Clear? I have two entries, and make sure that these values are quoted with the single quotes. Okay, surrounded with single quotes without fail. If you don't give single quotes, you will be seeing 1900 as a year number in this. Clear? So this table is also created. So account master we have created. Then later product master is done. Then region master is done. Branch master is done. And user master. Then the transaction. So once you open the account, you do a lot of transactions, right? So what are the transaction type? Cash deposit, cash withdrawal, all these things we are going to be doing. Control C and Control V. I wanted to create one more table. Let me copy this till this, and let me paste it there and remove everything. So this is a transaction master. I wanted to rename as like this. Okay, TXN master, transaction master is my table name. You must not change the table names. You have to follow the table names as per the document only. Since it is a training program, I'm modifying it. Otherwise, you are not allowed to change anything. Clear? So remember this. So transaction master, and this is my table that, and I wanted to use this columns transaction number and user ID. So lot of columns are available here. Let me copy and just go and paste them there. Transaction number, I am simply putting T number. Okay, integer 4 you should not say. Simply you say integer. Integer 4 will not work. When you say integer, that is more enough. Date of transaction, I wanted to make the changes there, but in the real time you cannot do this kind of a name changes at all. Clear? So primary key identity column, identity means we know CDs and increment automatically. You will be able to see like this. At the end you have comma. So this is transaction number. DOT is fine. Then we have account ID is a foreign key, not null. Put the not null here, and foreign key references. References. So you need to open a account in order to do the transactions, right? So it is linked to this table now, and account ID is the primary key there, and put the comma. So this account ID and put the comma as well here. So transaction number, DOT, blah, 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 and branch in which you're doing the transaction. This is also not null. Okay. And again, this is a foreign key. Remove everything and references that you can copy. So branch, in which branch you're doing the transaction, we have a branch table. So same thing, you can just copy it. Okay. So whenever you do any transaction, you need to go to some bank. I'm talking about some 10 years back. Now you have a machines and everything. You need not go to any bank physically, but 10 years back, you're supposed to go to a bank and do the cash deposit and cash withdrawal. So what is the type of the transaction that you're doing it? So this is also not null column. You bring this to here, and all these are cash withdrawal, and all these things are what? A check constraint. So you need to write check and write the column name, transaction type. Okay, transaction type in. So in, open the bracket, close the bracket, and it could be cash withdrawal, or it could be cash deposit, or it could be check deposit. Okay, or it could be check withdrawal. Okay, so these are the things we can have: cash, withdrawal, and cash deposit, blah blah blah. So I think check withdrawal means it is a cash withdrawal only. Yeah, so like that we can have this check constraint. So values are either CW, CD, CQD. So only these things you can mention. If it is a check deposit, check number has to be there, and null. If the check number, if you're not inserting a check, then check number will be null, and check date also will be small date time. If you're depositing check means you need to have check number as well, right? So it is also null. These are the null columns. And the transaction amount, what is the amount you are depositing or you are withdrawing? So that is not null. And the user ID, who's the guy who's going to do your transaction when you go to the bank, right? So he's a user master table already we have created. So one of the guy from the table has to do your transaction. Foreign key references. Switch table. We have user master table and put comma everywhere. I'm getting some error in this. Now references user master table. So this is the table. Copy and paste it there. And user ID. What is the column name? As it is column name, you need to write primary key column name. So many people what they write like this. It is not the correct name. Correct name is complete user ID. And that's it. So it's been created. Now delete unwanted spaces and make sure that you are pointing to iBank database. Done. Save the script. Now these tables have been created. Now you can insert some data. So who's the customer? Open the account Ravina and Ahmed Patel. So Ravina is 101. So automatically this number is, will get inserted because which is an automatic number. How do you know? You can see identity here. Am I clear? Now I wanted to have so 101 and date of transaction, let us say 2019, let us say Jan and 12th, she's doing some transaction, say cash deposit of, in which she's doing the transaction, let us say branch BR1, she's doing the transaction, and transaction type is cash deposit, CD, and check number is null, and she's not doing any check transaction. Null and null. Transaction amount, let us say $1,000, and the user one is doing his transaction. User one is the the user ID. She went to the bank, and one employee of the bank is helping her, and his number is here. So this is how you can insert the date. Conversion failed, data type integer. What is the error? So DOT, oh, account ID is missing. After DOT, account ID, sorry. First is DOT. The next one is account ID. Okay. This is automatic number. No, don't worry about it. DOT means the date of transaction, account ID, branch ID. So data did not go. Okay. Let me insert this value once again. One row got inserted. Clear? So even though there is a failure, see there is a failure, because of that the first row is gone. So since it is identity column, you will see all these issues. It is not going to reset. If you wanted to reset, you can say truncate table, table name, and reset to one identity column value. Okay. Now I don't have any data here. Let me insert this data. Now you can see it is starting with one. Even though the insertion is failed, but what it is doing, it is incrementing the number. So all these you need to observe clearly. That is how the behavior of identity column. Clear? So he's, she has done some transaction, and again after some time, she will go, or another guy, 102 Ahmed Patel, wanted to deposit of, well, let us say, 4,000 bucks, and the user 3 is supporting. So this is second transaction, right? Like that you can have, the next transaction is done on the 15th by 102 cash withdrawal. Okay, of, she has deposited 4,000. He wanted to withdraw, let us say, 2,000 bucks, and he went to the bank, and employee number four. Employee number four is this guy, right? So employee number four, John, is supporting this transaction. So in the bank, so this is four, right? Now, like that, you're going to be doing a lot of transactions. So whenever you do any cash deposit, check deposit, so all of them can be done in this. Now, I wanted to do only 101 and 102 because I did not insert some more data here. You better insert at least, 50, 60 rows. And in this, you need to insert a couple of years. I started with 2018, 2019, and 2020, 2021 data, at least 3 years data in proper manner. Okay. So I'm inserting January data, then February data, like that. In the proper manner, you insert. Okay, 01, and branch BR3, and cash deposit is doing 101, is doing cash deposit of, again, 5,000, and assisted by a employee number 6. Clear? Like that you can change, and like that. So now, February month, let us say 10th, 102 is doing check deposit. Okay, check deposit means you need to give check number. Check number is, let us say, 1234, and check date. Check date. So it was, February check only. So check date was February. Let us say 7th dated check. 7th dated check, and of $500, and she deposited in the bank. Okay. So like that, we can insert the date. This is check number, and check, date. So you're, depositing the check on this date, and the actual check date is this. Clear? So like that, we need to insert some data, make sure that you have sufficient data in this. And these are the tables that you must create them. You can use them. You can just play with them. So now let me go back and refresh and create a database diagram. Right click on this new database diagram. Now it is not showing all the tables. Now let me close the SQL server and once again open it. Sometimes everything will not get refreshed. Server name is database engine. My machine name is Kedar, or you can use dot. Now let me go to databases and Indian Bank, expand it, and these are the tables I have it. Now I wanted to know how the tables are linked. So now all the tables available here. Now we can take one by one table. Okay. Second table, click on add. Third table, you can click on add. Now fourth table, fifth table, sixth table, and close. Now you see how the database diagram, this is what is called data modeling. Data modeling means how the tables are linked with the primary key and foreign key. That is very, very important. Clear? So, region master is linked to branch master. Branch master primary key is linked to account master as a foreign key here. And branch master is linking, same primary key table is linking to this table as well and this table as well. And account master is linking to transaction master. This account ID is a account ID here, right? It is a foreign key. Now, a user master table is linking to transaction master table. A user ID is foreign key, and this is the primary key. And the product master is linking to this. And which is the independent? Nothing is independent in this. All of them are dependent tables only. So, when you join the company, nobody will tell you this table is linked to that, that table is linked to this. That you need to study. How do you study? Which is the primary key? Which is the foreign key? This is the primary key symbol, and opposite could it is a foreign key, obviously, right? If one guy is primary key, the other guy is foreign key only. So this is the primary key linking to foreign key. Always primary key table need to be created first and insert the data into the primary key table first. Then only we can insert the data into the foreign key. Am I clear? So that's how you can just watch this. And many people, what they do, they take a screenshot, they print and they stick on the walls. So when we were working for one company, so there are some hundreds of tables. Nobody will remember the table names and the column names. We'll take a bigger screenshot and we paste it onto the wall. So if you wanted to see tomorrow, simply we look at the wall. Every time coming back to this an irritating job, right? So we'll paste it onto the wall. So we know that okay, this is the table is linked to this. This is that the table and this is linked to this. And we know the column names exactly and everything. Clear? So tomorrow, if you wanted to write queries and everything, if you have the design in front of you, and you can write the queries very very easily. So which table to be joined and which table to be retrieved. So for example, if I say I wanted to get region master column. So first I don't know where is the region master available. If you look at this, so region master is available from this table. Sometimes the client will tell you and ask you, tell me the date of transaction. Where is date of transaction? So you can, if you see, it is available in this. Clear? So they will tell you the column name. They will not tell you the table name where the devotee is available. Clear? They'll say there is a status column, please retrieve that. They'll say like that only. There is a status column, you should retrieve. Where is status column? Status column is available. We don't know where the status column is available. Simply, they don't know where the status column is available. So if you have the figure in front of you, you should be able to easily find out. But if you have maximum tables, then manually looking is very, very difficult. So sometimes people would ask you, tell me, bring that designation table. Where is the designation table available? So designation, there is no table. Designation is a column name. So where is available? It is available in the user master. So it is very, very important that you should know all of them clearly. Yeah, am I clear, guys? And now, so these are the things we have done it. And later, you can do with the some kind of a primary key, unique key, foreign key check constraint. Account ID, branch ID, product ID, region ID fields should be unique. We have created a primary key. Date of transaction and date of opening should be the same as the current date. This is the default value. Check which is more than 6 months old should not be accepted. This will discuss them later. Okay. Check number and check date column should not be null if the transaction type is check deposit. A product should not be removed if there are accounts attached to it. Okay. Transaction amount should not be negative. So transaction amount should not be negative. What is this? So here transaction amount, we supposed to write one check constraint. That we did not write because it has to take only positive numbers. We cannot say negative numbers, right? So that is the point. So I have to write a check constraint for this requirement. Okay. Transaction amount should not be negative. So after creating a table, if you wanted to add one check constraint, can we add? Why not? Let me go. I wanted to add a check constraint there. Let me go to my recent files and open. So you go back and I have to insert. I have to add here, check amount cannot be negative. I need to alter this table and add that. Okay. So now I don't remember the syntax, how to alter the table and add a new constraint. Let me Google it. Go to Google. So all these things you should practice. So I need to say add check constraint in SQL, Oracle in SQL. Click on this. Now W3 schools, click on this site. Now it is giving you, this is the way the table can be created. Now we should be able to give a check constraint like this. Okay. So check age less than this. Now I wanted to check alter table and how to add check constraint. So this is the syntax. MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle. This is how you should be able to give the check constraint. Clear? And allow naming check constraint and the following check blah blah blah. So let me copy this and add a check constraint to this table. So now I'm saying add check constraint to this table. So what is the syntax? Alter a table. Table name is this. Control C and Control V. And add check. And in this, you need to write the check constraint. Okay. So what is the column name? Column name is transaction amount. Copy this and can't be negative. Can't be negative means it can be greater than or equals to 0. It can be 0. Okay, so this is how you should be able to write the check constraint. Now, I wanted to show you the find out schema of table. SP underscore help table name. In single quotes, you can write the table name if you wanted to write it. Otherwise, sorry, without single quotes also fine. But let me execute this. When you execute it, it is telling you this table has one identity column. This table has these many foreign keys and one primary key, one check constraint, and this is check constraint name. Clear? Now I wanted to create one more check constraint and that will appear there. Let me execute this. Executed. Let me go back and see the check constraint here. Now you should be able to see your check constraint appearing here. So one check constraint on the amount, one more check constraint on the type. Clear? And you did not give any name, so automatically the name is taken by the SQL Server. Am I clear? So we need to create the name to the check constraint at the time of creating. If you don't give any name at the time of creating, automatically it is going to take the name, add check, and this is the expression. The expression is here. So name I did not give, but if you wanted to give name also, this is the complete syntax. Control C and Control V with the name. Okay, we can say add a transaction master and add constraint, and this is the name. So the name they had given like this, right? So this is the name. So this name you can give add transaction amount. Okay.
So when we create the constraint, it generates its own name. Is that what
That
it
is
is?
the meaning, right? So I
Okay.
am saying check constraint on this column, check amount can't be negative. This is the name of the check constraint, and this is the expression. Expression is this. Control C and Control V. Clear? So if you don't mention anything, then simply say add check. You need not mention constraint as well. Clear? If you wanted to write with the name, then you can give your own name. Any name you can give that. Clear? If you wanted to drop a check constraint, that is also there is a syntax. Okay. Now how to drop a check constraint. So this is the syntax. Existing check constraint, I would like to drop it. You go, see now, alter table transaction master, and here transaction master, drop constraint name. For example, I wanted to get the constraint name, and this is the constraint name. Copy this, and you need to drop it here. Now this constraint will get dropped. Clear? Let me execute this. Now it is dropped. Now you should be able to see the constraint is no more. Okay, it is only available here. If you wanted to drop this as well, you can drop, and this is the copy one. You should be able to drop this. SP underscore help will give you constraint names and everything. I'm dropping this constraint as well. Okay, now you go there. Data wise, there is no issue. Data will be there, but constraints are dropped. You can execute this command to see the constraint. No constraint there. But if you wanted to add a constraint, definitely we should be able to add the constraint with the name and everything. Clear? So if you don't need any constraint, if you don't need any name, that is also fine. But you can create a constraint with the name created. Now we should be able to see the constraint name there. Clear? So this is the constraint name that I have given. So transaction master transaction amount cannot be negative. So this is the expression. And one more constraint also we have dropped it. So the constraint is this. Let me add this constraint. So I wanted to simply write it here. That's it. So I'm not writing anything, simply giving a constraint. Done. Okay. Now you should be able to see both of the constraints once again. You can drop the existing constraint. We can, create again same constraint there. So both constraints are now available. So like that, if you wanted to drop a foreign key, so drop key, just go here and Google it. That's it. Drop a foreign key. Whatever you want to have it, you can just check. Drop foreign key constraint in a SQL server. So they'll give you couple of examples. Never by heart it. Clear? So how to drop a foreign key. So they'll tell you after creating a table. So this is the alter table name, and this is how you can drop a foreign key. Okay. Now copy and paste and change. So the table is this table. You can put the table and the foreign key on which column it is available, the column name, and reference is what. So this is to add. If you wanted to drop, let me see the drop all. So drop a foreign key is this. If you wanted to add, this is adding a foreign key. Okay, foreign key on which column you want like to add. For example, I would like to add the foreign key on the user ID, right? So user ID and references user master and user ID. That's it. This is how we should be able to create a foreign key to the existing table. Okay. Now this is adding a foreign key if it is not there onto the transaction master table. But if you wanted to drop FK, existing FK, so now we should be able to copy this and paste them. W3C school site is very good. Now recommend and see drop foreign key name. How do you get the foreign key name? Foreign key name you can get it with the help of this. Right? So which foreign key you would like to drop it? Use copy, you copy this, you copy this. All of them are the foreign keys. Copy one of them and Control R, come down and you paste them and say go and drop it. So that foreign key will get a drop. If you want to create a foreign key, and this is the symbol, right? Automatically foreign key name will get created. So like that, we can do lot many things. Creating a primary key, creating a foreign key. After creating a table, you can add a primary key, you can add a foreign key, you can add, check consent, you can add null, you can do lot of things. but all of them are available in your this one. Even though I'm teaching SQL Server, I don't remember the syntaxes. Clear? So syntax, knowing is okay, but never try to remember that, because after 1 week you will again forget. So go to Google and copy paste and modify it. Try to use that. If you know what is altering, what is dropping, what is deleting, what is selecting, if you know, that is more than sufficient. Clear? So very good, websites are available, so make sure that you use the websites and do all these things without fail. Clear? So we discussed this case study thoroughly today, and we have a lot of other things. Transaction type should be only this. We have done it, and all of them. So uncleared balance should be not less than the cleared balance, and the minimum balance for the savings bank is 1,000. All of them still need to be done, and we have view requirements and query requirements. These two topics need to be covered. Okay. So this completes, the introduction to SQL commands and everything, and how to create a table, how to drop a table, all of them we discussed. And from tomorrow, from tomorrow, we are going to discuss about how to retrieve data, right? We are storing the data now. Inserting means storing the data, right? So from tomorrow we're going to discuss about how to retrieve the data from the tables, and which are very important. Another 2 weeks, if you spend another 2 weeks, if you spend, and you should be able to understand SQL very well. Clear? Once SQL is over, then we have 2 more weeks for the T-SQL. Clear, guys? So 2 weeks it will compulsorily take to learn SQL Server queries. That is how to retrieve the data from the given tables. So that is what we're going to be discussing from tomorrow. Clear? So make sure that you complete all these case studies and send it to me for review by today or tomorrow without fail. Clear? Any questions, guys?
Sir, in the insert statement, you use the null values. What is that purpose, sir?
Null value means purpose is that value is not needed, right? That is the purpose, nothing else.
And if you leave it alone, what should this
No,
is?
that will give you a lot of issues, right? Because if you leave this, if you don't give nulls here, you try
Yes.
omitting this. So what will happen? You have more columns there, right? If you don't supply the complete columns here, SQL Server will get confused, saying that if you give like this without this, SQL Server will
Okay,
think
okay.
that SQL Server think that there are more number of columns there, but less number of columns your data you're supplying. It will confuse a lot. Clear? Let me execute and show you. Now see, column name or number of supplied values does not match the table definition. It is saying there are 10 columns, you're supplying only eight values. So SQL Server cannot understand that. SQL Server is not intelligent like us. So definitely it will give you this kind of an issues. Am I clear?
Right, sir. Understood. Yeah, understood, sir. Thank you.
Well, so it's recommended that you must give nulls with, if, otherwise you need to clearly specify the column names here. I told you, right? So if you specify the column names, then SQL Server will omit this. So this is for DOT, this is for this is for this is for. You can just ignore these two and give the data. That is also fine. Okay, na? Chalo,
Okay, sir.
guys.
Thank you.
And any other questions? If you have it, we are good to go.